Good Sunday evening, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. I hope you guys have had a great Sunday out there today and continue to have a great Sunday as we work our way through the evening hours. It is 8:18 p.m. Eastern Time as the time I'm speaking, so we got a few more hours to go for today before everybody signs off, if you will. But yeah, we're going to get into some current conditions. We're going to get into model guidance for the next few weeks, some snowfall, graphics, and kind of discuss our pattern. And the video should be laid out kind of exactly in that order. So feel free to skip around. I am working on getting timestamps in these videos, so keep your eyes peeled for that. I might get that up and going at some point. But as always, like this video if you like it, subscribe if you've not done so already, and please leave a comment down below where you're watching from. I would greatly appreciate that. I only have this pulled up right here because it shows our, I think it just looks cool, quite honestly. We'll pause it here. You can see our low responsible here for the snow kind of rolling up through the Atlantic Ocean. And this is kind of an all-day loop here. So it literally we can see the sun come up and the sun set across the US. I just think this looks really cool. And again, I did this. I already have made this video once, but something was wrong with the audio, so I'm doing it for the second time. Because why not? See all this snow? Doesn't this look cool? I mean, yeah, this is not like the ground is straight white like it is some areas, but like all this stuff out here is still on the ground from previous the event, the ice storm a few weeks ago. The snow and ice storm, let's be honest. It was a little bit of both, but yeah, you can see these areas really highlighted here. I hope you guys in Raleigh did okay. You guys are kind of in here. You can literally see the dry slot. I hate that for you guys, but I know you guys got something. There's another kind of area where it somewhat underperformed. Out of Columbia underperformed. I was watching Mitch West. I was watching his video this morning, and it kind of broke my heart. I'm not gonna lie to you. He got, I think, 2 to 3 inches is what he said. He lives right here, and this had the makings to be a lot more than that. But he still got something. Everybody in the Carolinas got a little bit of something. There were flurries all the way down to the Savannah Beaufort area, even I think into Jacksonville, if I'm not mistaken. And then I hope you guys also in the Outer Banks are doing okay. I don't know how this event ended up playing out for you guys, but in this area, in that circle right there, you guys had it rough for a while. Windy conditions, maybe more beyond just windy. Heavy snow at times. There was some rain mixed in. And yeah, I'll play this loop, and you can see the sunset. It doesn't literally look like that from the satellite. That's just the satellite kind of decides when to stop using the colors and change to that. But you can see the snow. You see it kind of melt. It did get a lot warmer in some areas, including my neck of the woods today, than we anticipated. So we're already speeding up the process of melting the snow. I kind of dislike that. If we get this much snow, I think it'd be cool if we kept it around. But anyway, not to get sidetracked. Here's the latest from the radar across the U.S. Just nothing really. We have some. We'll work our way east here. We have some rain, higher elevation snow out here in the northwest areas of the U.S. This band of frozen precipitation is just kind of a clipper type event moving through here's areas of snow showers. Most of this is probably not hitting the ground. It's too dry, but there are areas where it is hitting the ground. And then our friends out here in Atlantic Canada and Cape Cod. You guys, I know, got some snow. Cape Cod did, not a whole lot. And look up here in Atlantic Canada. I mean, this is a very, very heavy snow bands moving ashore here um, in Nova Scotia. So let us know if any of my viewers live in this area. Number one, welcome. This feels like such a far ways away to me. But yeah, tell us what you're seeing. And anywhere in the U.S. that, especially the areas that got snow from this, let me know in the comments what you ended up getting. I know we're moving away from this event, but I think it'd be cool if you guys told me that. And then we look here. This is our watches, warnings, and advisories from the National Weather Service. These out here are just small craft advisories and some wind related things offshore, but nothing crazy. These right here are special weather statements associated with some frozen precipitation. I think it's freezing drizzle is what these are for. And then we have more special weather statements down in here. These are for black ice primarily. And some other winter related advisories out here. These kind of like ones are cold weather advisories. We do have some extreme cold warnings in the kind of darker shade here. along the coastal areas. And then what's under here? Yeah, some cold weather advisories still remain. This is a freeze warning down in this area. And then we move up the coast and we have heavy freezing spray warnings for the more marine related stuff out here. And then, yeah, all these things offshore are wind related. And look at how far offshore these go. Goodness gracious. This always blows my mind. I mean, this is hundreds of miles. You see our scale down here is 200 miles. These are literally more than 200 miles apiece. Isn't that crazy? But anyway, not to get sidetracked here, more than we already have, let's be honest. So here we're going to go over the Climate Prediction Center outlooks here. This is the 6 to 10 day, and we'll focus on the 6 to 10 and the other outlooks as well. So this is ahead of us here. This is the first outlook they have issued. Eastern areas of the U.S. remain cooler, especially the Northeast. You guys are kind of set to be very cold. And then a lot warmer in central areas of the U.S. and really essential to western U.S. And it's dry across most, if not all, of the eastern U.S. and near normal temperatures in the central U.S. I'm not going to say that's a bummer, but it's cooler but drier. So not a great pattern for winter weather, but I'm not going to be greedy. We got several inches of snow at my house. And we look here. This is the 8 to 14 day outlook here. Get everything in frame. And so this is interesting. Like, this is what tells me somewhere in here, and then it would be somewhere in here. We have to kind of watch for something to happen because we have at or maybe even below average temperatures, or maybe just above, and the near normal precipitation. That would tell you it's wintertime. You have higher chances. And then our 3 to 4 week temperature outlook. Let's see if we can get it pulled up here. It's taking a second to load. I might just have to click on it. It's unfortunate. So here's our 3 to 4 week temperature outlook. Most of it is just barely above or below. A lot of it is equal. And we click. I don't know how it's pulled up. Actually, that's just a new tab. And then this is the weeks 3 to 4 precipitation. So everywhere is at normal, pretty much. So no need to focus too much on this, but in this time frame, that weeks 3 to 4, we kind of have the eastern, maybe east central areas of the U.S. to kind of watch for more winter weather. So now, here is our beloved model guidance. So we have to go over European, GFS, and Canadian, and as well as their AI companions here. So here we go. Starting on Tuesday morning, there's some snow breaking out along the Ohio River, generally south of I-70 from Indianapolis to Columbus, Ohio to Pittsburgh. I'll go ahead and say that right off the bat. Generally south of that. But along the Ohio River, snow, and it does not do anything crazy on the Euro. Kind of sticks around in some areas. Then it moves into the Virginias a little bit, but it's very quick. Like you would be in this snow for a matter of a few hours and then it's gone. Some moderate snow in there though. And then you see that low in the southern Appalachians starting to show up there. We'll have to watch this for a secondary frame here. This is very, very hard to see here and very small. But do you see some frozen precipitation in there? So the Euro doesn't like this as much, but you have cool to cold air aloft diving down here, and then you have an active southern stream. So you would always look for somewhere in the middle to go boom, right? That's kind of what we got last time. But there's something, it's not anything too crazy with the moisture. And it moves offshore. And then you look in the longer range, starting to get out past 100 hours. This is medium range forecasting that we're looking at now. And clipper action in the Northeast. We may have multiple clippers over the next week or so, week to 2 weeks. There's a clipper number 1. There's another clipper but dies off, and no other clipper after that. Our other model guidance likes more. But this clipper here, that we'll focus on the first one, could be locally pretty intense for areas of the Midwest and interior Northeast. You can see some really, really strong snow signals showing up here, very heavy snow. And it moves off to the east, be a northeast special, maybe areas of the mid-Atlantic. And the Euro does kind of like some southern Appalachian snow here, but it's nothing crazy by any means. And then move this off, and it hits Atlantic Canada with some very, very heavy snow. Goodness gracious. And then it moves off. And then we have nothing to speak of really, except for this is the hour. What I'm going to mention this later. Hour 250. About 12 days from now, we got to watch for something. So this is really, really far north on the Euro. I mean, it puts the low up into Canada here, but there's there's some heavy snow. It gets going in Minnesota here. Maybe as far east as Wisconsin. You're close. More rain, and then moves off. This right down here in the deep south could be thunderstorms. Our temperatures at this range at this time are about 60 to 65 degrees. So it's warmer, but not really warm enough to get it going, but it could. And let's see here. Moves east. Some little clippers, and that is the end. So there's nothing really showing up on the Euro other than this thing right here. If you hear a rumbling noise, I have an air compressor in my garage that has just turned itself on, but you might not be able to hear it. I'm not quite sure. But yeah, you can see this event here, and then you go back a little bit more, and there's this clipper, and then we have the little tiny thing along the Ohio River. That's our three systems based off of the Euro that we really need to pay attention to. The GFS gets that snow going, and it's just a lot more widespread. Southern areas of Ohio, Indiana, over into Pennsylvania. Northern areas of, well, really all of West Virginia gets in on some snow based off of the GFS, not a forecast. Northern areas of Virginia, up into the Washington, D.C. area. And it moves on out. There's that energy on the backside in the Carolinas and surrounding states. See that? I mean, this is getting into the early morning hours on Thursday. And there is some snow. It does actually show snow breakout in the central areas of North Carolina. We could well see this, but I will say it right now. It might be too dry at the surface to see these hit the ground. It might show up on radar, but it might not hit the ground. And it's so light and lasts so little time, this is not going to do anything significant. So if you're in the Raleigh-Durham area and you're thinking, oh, we got shafted with the last one kind of, and this could be our solution, we get some snow because it shows up over our area, you might see some flurries at best. Our other model guidance is pretty similar to this, if less. The Euro is less. So anyway, there's that clipper. It's a little bit further north with the main energy and a little bit less. But look at that southern Appalachian snow there, the northwest flow event. This is just flow that rides over the mountains, creates lift as it goes up. You know, it goes up the windward peak, and then as it goes down the leeward side of the mountains, it can create a surface low. It's called lee cyclogenesis, but that's not really what you focus on here. It's more that windward side. It gets wind going up, reaches the lifted condensation level, probably less than 3 miles up in the sky, creates clouds. They start raining, and it's cold enough that it falls as snow in the higher elevations. So a little bit of a northwest flow event kind of explanation there. But we move this on. There's another clipper that's relatively aggressive, diving through the Great Lakes region. And then what? You see this right here? This is hour 240 in the 250 range. So you see a lot of something. There's just a ton of rain. The GFS is a huge rain bomb. Now, do you see? This was the run before it. Or this was the run 2 runs ago. This was the last run. That's the latest run. So latest, last, 2 runs ago, and then who knows what. So the last 3 runs have shown moisture, but if we had this happen, this would be another big kind of an ice storm. But here we go. This is the latest run. It does get some sort of freezing rain going in the northeast. It's very short-lived. So it's just a big rain ball. And then you see a low pop off in the central and southern plains, transfer of energy to another surface low, and it's a big mess. A lot of rain, some snow, freezing rain, and then we get out towards the end of the run, and the good old GFS doing GFS things, isn't it? I mean, we have a big area of snow up here. Do I think this is going to happen? I think it's possible. The pattern doesn't say anything either direction about this happening. It could, but this is the long-range GFS, and we know from experience that the long-range GFS does this, and it rarely, if never, actually happens. So don't pay this too much of attention. So that's the latest GFS. And how about the Canadian? Starting this off Tuesday morning, shows that snow, kind of similar to the GFS. A lot of rain to the south, a lot more moisture. And then look on the backside. There is some snow in North Carolina, maybe South Carolina here. Very short lived, very light, but there is something. I honestly would say that, oh, we need to watch this. I really don't think we need to. I think this is something where your local people will cover it if it needs to be covered. And this is obviously, this is less than 100 hours out, so I'll pay attention to it, but I don't think it's anything major at all. Clipper there. So this is our first clipper. So it's not nearly as widespread as, say, the Euro is with it, but heavy areas of snow over the southern Great Lakes region into Ohio and West Virginia, targeted here, so northwest flow stuff. There's another clipper kind of diving through the southern Great Lakes region as well. And then kind of a long strung out clipper over the areas of the Northeast and the upper Midwest. And then, I mean, that would be a reasonable snowstorm for Pennsylvania, but this is 216 hours away. And then it moves offshore, and that's the last frame. The Canadian only goes 10 days, and that's not in that 250-hour range. So who knows what it was going to do here? We can only guess. So our AI guidance looks like this. We have a surface low developing. This is Tuesday morning in Arkansas and Missouri here. And then it pops up moisture. So moisture north, the snow is mainly along the Ohio River, points north, maybe along the I-70 corridor here. There's a lot of mixing. This is the Euro AI. It does a lot more with mixing these together for a corridor of sleet or freezing rain than our other model guidance does. But yeah, we'll treat it as normal. This is 54 hours from now. This is not far. This is less than 3 days when this starts. And then you kind of see it go out through the Washington, D.C. area and then out to sea. And then there's that surface low in the southern Appalachians. And you see some frozen precipitation get going on the backside. The Euro AI has consistently, this was a run before, this run before that, consistently shows some sort of like sleet or freezing rain, maybe some snow in North Carolina and Virginia. And we move this off and it doesn't really do anything else. There's this clipper, very aggressive looking clipper here as it dives through the, central eastern areas of the U.S. and then into the Northeast. There's another little clipper there. There's a third clipper, not very intense, and some sort of rain bomb in the deep south with very zonal flow aloft, and then higher elevation snow out west. If you live out west, and you're thinking, why don't you cover this area? Number one, I don't live there, right? Geography wise, I'm not going to pretend to know geography or topography or anything of that stuff across most, if not all, areas of the U.S. But I'm even less familiar with areas really west of the Mississippi River. I'm gonna be honest with you, but areas further out there, you guys are really so microclimate driven that it's hard to forecast for you guys unless I'm on a really small scale level. I can't say for the entire state of Nebraska. Sorry, not Nebraska. There is some stuff in Nebraska at this time. Nevada is what I meant to say. I can't say, oh, the entire state of Nevada could see snow, even if it shows up on our model guidance and looks like that. Because some areas are higher elevated, some are lower, and that means something else. So that I would leave that up to your local people or meteorologists, weather enthusiasts like myself that live out there and know the area better. But there's some stuff going on out there. You guys have absolutely been shafted by winter as a whole recently. In fact, this entire season has been typically warmer than average for you guys. So we may be entering a time frame here where you guys get more. We'll go over that in the pattern discussion. But that's the Euro AI. Sorry for the yapping. Here's the AI GFS. Some snow along and north of the Ohio River, pretty similar. A lot more precipitation, though, you can see here. And it keeps these areas of snow much further north, up into West Virginia, Pennsylvania, maybe even down to Washington, D.C., but you could be rain based off of this. Surface low in the Appalachians. Then very, very light snow and light rain on the backside. It'd be a really cold rain in the Carolinas here. So something to keep an eye on, but not something that you should be concerned about or pay much attention to. There's a clipper. Another clipper dives through the Great Lakes. And then based on the AI GFS, this is 210 hours away. It's about 10 days. And you can see a relatively large area of snow getting in up into the north central plains, the upper Midwest, and into Canada. And they kind of merge. You see the southern stream energy and northern stream energy here kind of merge together. Not this Wednesday that we're about to have in a few days, but the Wednesday after that, 11 days from now. A lot of snow, mainly in Canada, and it really amplifies. Look at that. I mean, 977 low rolling over the Great Lakes and huge area of moisture, and it's really just a northeast special. Moves off to the east, but it's not going to work for me. Yeah, the Euro AI doesn't show that at all, so something to consider. Snowfall wise, here's the Euro. Not this is not really even barely worth mentioning. I mean, along and south of the I-70 corridor, and then along areas of the Ohio River, you at max, based on the Euro, get 2.5 inches in southern areas of Ohio. And there's a relatively large, not really, area of 1 inch showing up, 1 to 1.5 inches showing up. West Virginia is favored by the Euro. Far southern areas of Ohio, far northern areas of Kentucky, and then southern central maybe areas of Indiana. Not really anything crazy that you guys should be watching. This might be something where, oh, it's snowing. Anyway, back to daily life kind of thing. I mean, especially for you guys up here, if 2.5 inches fell on average, like if tomorrow 2.5 inches fell in South Carolina where I live, that'd be a much bigger deal. But you guys up here, not really. Especially you guys got more snow with that ice storm the other week than ice in most of these areas. So you guys have gotten some snow recently. And so I'm going to do this for all of our snowfall. That frame and then the entire run. Notice the central plains and the southern plains. Nothing. I mean, there's nothing at all showing up in these areas. And then the deep south, nothing as well. Even up into areas of the mid-Atlantic, nothing as well. Really just Appalachian special type of thing. The Northeast really, really favored. Areas of Maine with 15 inches throughout the next several weeks. Couple of weeks, I should say. So nothing crazy showing up here. Even though you see a bunch of colors, and the reason I say it like this is this is a rich get richer type of thing. It really is. Far northern areas up in here, you guys expect snow. If you didn't get snow, it'd be odd. And the higher elevations out here, I mean, you guys are kind of the same way, where the higher elevations get snow a lot of the time at this time of year. So there's nothing really worth noting here. It just occurred to me, let my curiosity get the best of me. Along the Rocky Mountains and the Sierra Nevadas, I mean, look, that's 69 inches of snow. Dang. Areas of, oh, I'm blanking here. Oregon, I want to say. I think this is Oregon. I am really I apologize for that. It's Oregon, yeah. Look at that, 63 inches of snow in the higher elevation. That's crazy. Anyway, sorry, I'll keep it real with you guys. I let my curiosity get the best of me sometimes, but that's cool. How about the GFS model? This is through our event that we're watching first here. Definitely more snow showing up. You know, our maximum here, based off of this event, is along the Appalachian Mountains in West Virginia, where we have 4 3/4 inches showing up. That's still nothing crazy, but there's a broader look at it. I mean, Indianapolis, Columbus, over to Pittsburgh, you guys are kind of in the area where you could get something, but go, several miles further north and you don't really get much of anything. Maybe, I mean, far northern areas of Kentucky, you guys are kind of consistently in something. I mean, again, this is not far from us. If we take the model through the event, it's less than 80 hours. So there is that. And let's see. We have a whole bunch of nothing, really. I mean, this is higher than the Euro, but not by a lot. And yeah, it does light areas of Pennsylvania more, though. And then it kind of picks back up again over New Jersey. So you guys got absolutely left in the dust by the last one that we're just finishing up now. So who knows? Maybe you get a little something. And then again, I'll zoom this out. So close your eyes and open them again, and you have this. And it looks pretty similar overall, except for areas. This draws my eye here. These things in this area are not necessarily what you normally get, especially down into like Kansas and Nebraska. I mean, few to several inches, maybe half a foot of snow is not what you normally expect. So this is based off of the end of the GFS, where you have some sort of low and big moisture shield to the north. So watch it, but the euro doesn't really like that idea as much. Then Appalachians favored. This is the GFS for that kind of as the event leaves and goes offshore. This coming Wednesday and Thursday. So Hickory over to Statesville, Concord maybe, just north of Charlotte, you get about an inch and a quarter. And then, I mean, south of Durham, Ashboro, Apex over maybe to Wilson, north of Fayetteville, another little area of about an inch. So yeah, nothing too crazy there. And let's see, some of the Mid-Atlantic states get something, but not really anything. Mid-Atlantic, Northeast states, really the Northeast is where you get focused in on. And so there's the GFS. How about the Euro Ensemble? It's a pretty reliable thing to look at. It doesn't. It's kind of similar to the operational GFS, or operational Euro, I should say. Man, I gotta get my models right. If you've been watching my videos for the past several videos, I keep mixing these two up. So if I ever switch them, I apologize, but I do my best here. Indianapolis with less than an inch. Columbus with 3/4 of an inch. With Cincinnati, you guys are kind of consistently in about an inch, inch and a half, maybe. And then it kind of likes areas of the Appalachian Mountains in West Virginia, getting you up to about 1.5 inches, but not anything crazy. And then blink, open your eyes, and we have this. This is obviously going to be a little bit more smoothed out here, but again, you kind of have all of these areas of what we call the South, the South Central Plains, the Southern Midwest, the Deep South, the Southern Mid-Atlantic, really just don't get anything. By the way, I may have just made up some regions when I said that. I really don't know. They should be regions if they aren't already. That's kind of a joke. But there's again the Northeast favored, the western areas of the U.S. higher elevations mainly favored, and then again the northern areas, the northern plains, northern Midwest, you get something. Canada getting more here. But yeah, there's all that. Now, how about the blend of all models, the national blend of models? It really dropped off. I'll show you. This is the latest run. Here's the one we looked at yesterday. I mean, a huge difference. Although, I mean, these totals were never high, so interesting kind of comparison there. But yeah, really just areas. Even if it was for Cincinnati, guys get less than an inch. Really, just far southern areas of Ohio and extreme northern areas of Kentucky, you get something. Along the Appalachian Mountains, you get a little something. And then, yeah, I mean, like for New Jersey, for example, say Trenton area, less than half an inch. I mean, that's not going to get anybody excited, really. And like normal, blink, open your eyes, and it's even more sporadic with the western areas. You guys, it really highlights the higher elevations here. But again, other than very light snowfall totals in areas that don't normally see it, this is a lot of nothing for areas further south. So even though it looks colorful, it's kind of deceptive because most of these areas that are highlighted by color here are areas that typically get snow anyway. So anyway, we'll move past that. How about our pattern? We're going to discuss this here. This is the latest Euro Ensemble, and this is 500 millibars. This is a height anomaly, so this is just troughing or ridging. You can see these. You should know by now if you've watched these videos what these mean. Select the right color here. I mean, this would be a ridge. This would be a trough, and the troughs are associated with cooler air. The ridges, warmer air. No more explanation needed here. Starting off Tuesday morning, you can see how right in here, getting into Wednesday evening into Thursday morning, we have some sort of trough. So this would tell me there's an area of cooler air that kind of drops down behind some of this moisture we're seeing that we just went over. And it moves off. And you see that right there, it kind of highlights the Northeast. This could be a pretty solid shot of cold air for the Northeast. We need to watch that because it could be pretty intense. We'll go over that here in a minute. But watch that, pay attention to it. And then you notice how we get here. This is, well, I'll take it to where 10 days. This is 10 days from now. What a pattern change. This is literally opposite what we've been seeing. We have a ridge in the central eastern areas of the U.S., a trough out west, and then some sort of trough over the northern Atlantic here. So this is the opposite pattern that we have been seeing for so long. This would mean a warm up across central and eastern areas of the U.S. And I'm not going to lie to you guys. I mean, it's 22 degrees at my house right now as of 8:48. I mean, I would appreciate a warm up. I'm not going to lie to you. I like winter weather. I do. But I also like storm chasing. And the idea of spring being closer is always nice to me. Even though it being warmer for some period of time does not mean spring is closer. Hopefully that makes some sense. We're going to move past that. But we get into 11 days, 12 days, that ridge starts to break down. And then right into here, days 14 to 16, we have some sort of trough-ish pattern. Nothing is crazy, especially at this range. This is the Aero Ensemble. You're not going to see really, really bold colors in either direction. But we have general troughing across the U.S., all of the lower 48. And right now, right at this frame here, let me get rid of all this and close this. If we take it to the last frame, we'll go over this with our temperatures. You see how we kind of have a dive, a slight bulge, and then a dive again. So it kind of goes like that, and then goes like that. You will see on our temperatures how this affects the U.S. So perfect segue here into our temperatures. Starting off Tuesday morning, this is temperature anomalies. Note that this is wintertime, so you don't need these temperatures to be very below average to be very cold. But you do need them to be pretty above average to be warm. That's just because it's wintertime. And first of all, this is a Tuesday. This is not the correct Tuesday. Let me back this up here. Tuesday morning. Here we go. This is the correct frame. So these would be warmer than average temperatures, and like these would be cooler than average temperatures. So don't pay attention to what the values are. You've got a key over here. My head is in the way of most of them. So anyway, move this on here. See this shot here of cooler air rolling through the Midwest and into the mid-Atlantic here, all the way down to the southeast. This could set the stage, I'm telling you guys, for some sort of frozen precipitation along the eastern seaboard states. It's possible with this event as it rolls through and then out. Cooler air is in place, but it's not very cold air per se. And then we move this on. There, right there. You see this? Day 7, Saturday or so. That's when that trough kind of gets itself going. Some of these values here would be, you guys can't see this key, but I can see it. About negative 16 to negative 20, so 16 to 20 degrees below average. If your average high temperature in the Northeast is, say, 40 degrees, that might be a little high, but let's say it is 40 degrees outside. That would mean that it could be as much as 20 degrees below average, which would mean that your daytime high temperature for this day would be 20 degrees outside. It's very, very cold. Or just bitterly cold temperatures. And obviously your daytime highs could be even lower than 40 in some of these areas. But you see that? It hangs on, and then it starts to break down a little bit. Then we get into the day 10 to 12 time frame, where we have definitely a ridge. You can see the far eastern and far western areas of the U.S. remain cooler because our pattern kind of, I'll draw it on here, it kind of goes like this. So we kind of have troughs and then a ridge, kind of going like that. So that's why that's happening. And then that area of warmer air at the surface moves east. It's getting into the 12 to 14 time frame. And what the heck? We'll take it to the end. This is the end here. And you remember that shape I drew? Kind of a trough, ridge, trough sort of pattern here. This is what it does at the surface. Cooler air, warmer air, slightly cooler, near normal or cooler air in the eastern U.S. So at this time here, let me do this. I will back it up a few. Or this frame works. We'll see. You'll use this one. You see I'll use a different color. We got a ridge, obviously, spiking like this. That would mean our storm track is pushed up to the north and then kind of rides back south. These lines exist the entire way. That would tell me. This is not an estimation. This was just based on science here. that our storm track would be something like that. So it dives down from our Arctic air, our Arctic region here. It kind of rides up maybe, and then over this ridge into the Arctic, and then dives back south. So this could be dislodging some cooler air. Now, I'm going to briefly go back here. This is the end. This is the same time frame for these areas. So we're going to analyze this a bit further, not much. I don't want to keep these videos too long. See how we have these warmer values in the high latitudes here. This is called high latitude blocking over areas of Greenland and Canada here, and areas of mainland Canada. And we have that, which this entire thing is acting as blocking. It's keeping our jet stream from interfering with anything. This ridge over here is doing the same. So what you end up getting, I'm going to try to use some different colors here, is this area right here ends up transferring down to the south. And we know, just based on climatology, that's Canada. That's cold air typically. So it dislodges cold air to the south, kind of spills down into the US here. So we need to watch the middle of February to see what happens. We'll continue to monitor it for you guys. So that leads me to the end of the video, and I'm gonna put you guys back on this sector because I just think this is really cool to see. So again, that's all I got for you guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you also for yesterday's video being so successful. All of you watched that. I appreciate it. And all the comments. Trust me, guys, if you're here at this point in the video, number one, congratulations for being here this long. But number two, if you leave a comment on my video and I don't reply to it, or I don't react to it at all, I do see it. It's just still very odd to me, the idea of responding to comments. This channel is 4 weeks old, about a month old, 4 or 5 weeks old, and it still hasn't really sunk in that I'm growing a community here of people that watch these videos that I can interact with. So I apologize for not responding to those. I'm trying to get that back into my brain. It just doesn't occur to me. I'm being completely honest with you guys. It rarely occurs to me to actually interact with you guys because it's not been normal. So I appreciate your patience with that. But thank you for tuning in. I'll have a video out tomorrow at some point in the afternoon or evening hours. And if nothing else, stay warm, stay dry, stay safe, and of course, stay happy. I will see you guys in the next one.